Welcome to the class, my major in big data. This is a week 3. We are going to learn about 4 important keywords. Those are problems, data, people, and technology. As you see this slide, in order to solve the problems, people looking for the data, and those data are stored in technology. And the technology these days include cloud, IoT, which is Internet of Things, and the mobile. The mobile is like a smartphone you use every day. Those are the good example of technology. And those technology help us to create the data, and known as a big data in these days. And people looking for data using those technology. Well, you see a lot of text here, and here's a 4 approach with 4 questions. And I really want you to understand the difference, these 4 questions and 4 approach, and I'll explain in detail. The first one is, who are the most profitable customers? And those questions can be answered by database query. And database query use SQL, which is structured query language, and you can easily find out who is the most profitable customers. The second question is there really a difference between profitable customers and an average customers? Well, those questions we can answer using the statistical analysis. And the third question and fourth question is data mining and data science, and I'm going to explain. Third approach is data mining, and I'm sure you heard about this data mining a lot, especially you are a business major. And the question is who really are the customers? Can I characterize them? Well, if you characterize them, you can do a lot of things like marketing and online, offline event. But up to 3 approaches are used in the last couple of decades, and I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with it. But the last one, data science, this is a really tough one because you're trying to predict what we can do and what the customers can create revenue. So basically, you have to predict how much revenue the customer is actually doing it. And data science is very complicated, and throughout this course, you are going to learn about the data science. I'd like to introduce very famous theory, which is by Kelly, 1955. It's called the personal construct theory. Basically, this theory explains us all the peoples are different. Well, me and you are very different. And this theory is supported by a couple of studies. The first study is people using the same term with the probability is less than 0.2. That's why when we search something, we use all the different terms. And the second study is the number of query we contain when we search is less than 2.2 terms. That's why when we search something, we use very short terms. Here's 6 levels of people express their ideas, and that's how much we complicate it. And the first one is a lexical level. It means the form of the word, like letter C, letter O, when we say color. And the second level is a semantic level. That's the meaning of the word. And third one is a synthetic level. That's known as a grammar, like a bright color. So you have to have adjective and nouns. And the fourth one is discourse level, which is the meaning of the word is different where you put the context. What I mean by that is it depends on the context of the meaning of the word. And the last one is very complicated. It's called a pragmatic level. This is where it belongs to the world or culture. Let's say some cultures have a different meaning of a particular word, such as like letter 4 means negative word, negative meaning of the word in Korea. But other countries, they really don't care what's the meaning of the letter 4. So they use an elevator or some buildings or apartment numbers. Well, here is another couple of theory. It's called cognitive overload and information anxiety. Well, as you can see the word, the meaning of the word, people really challenge cognitively because when they process a lot of data, they cannot process the data. So we call the cognitive overload. And the second theory is called information anxiety. Well, basically you get really upset or you cannot really process the data, so you get a lot of angers. Those 2 theories result into called the digital divide. Well, what it means is we are digitally divided. For example, I can access the informations, but my grandmother and my grandfather cannot access the information because they cannot process the data. That's the meaning of the digital divide. Okay, so up to now, I introduced many theories, and because I start with the 4 keyword, problems and people, data and technology, and I'm sure understand those 3 theory. That theory shows that how complicated we are. And next class, I'm going to tell all the story about the technology.